With the passing of Jaydayoungan, many felt that we were done hearing about members of the 23 gang out in Bogalusa, Louisiana. However, with the crazy turn of events, it's looking like his gang, comprised of his closest friends, are getting a major RICO indictment that is definitely not looking good for everyone involved. We all know the story of how a small Louisiana town was shocked to the core when its most famous citizen, Jaydayoungan, was gunned down at his auntie's house. However, many don't realize there was an ongoing gang war over control of this small area that claimed many lives along the way and might be responsible for a RICO indictment that will have rappers like FG Famous and a bunch of others have to face the music with their involvement with an infamous set that prosecutors say wreaked havoc on the small southern town of 10,000. Man, we gotta get into the story of 23 gang, aka La Familia, and the RICO, and how it might just take out what's left of the gang right now. But before we do, I'm gonna need you to do something for me, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We finna run at this video, man. Make sure y'all check out the merch link in the description at SaySafeWorld.com. Hit that subscriber button, hit that notification bell. Let's get into this. Chapter 1. Look out for the RICO. Things were already not looking good off rip for many in the 23 gang after a series of retaliatory shootings shortly after the death of beloved rapper Jaydayoungan, and basically had a lot of the high profile members locked up for some crazy crimes that they had to face trial for. However, just 5 days ago, it was announced that the state of Louisiana was looking to enact a rare RICO charge with everyone involved. A grand jury indicted 16 people on Tuesday, February 6th on a racketeering charge. The Office of Interim District Attorney Colin Sims reported that 15 men and 1 woman was indicted by Washington Parish grand jury in connection to a racketeering investigation led by multiple agencies. The group was accused following an investigation conducted by the District Attorney's Office, the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of ATF, the Washington Parish Sheriff Office, and the Bogalusa Police Department and other agencies. It's definitely not looking good when the ATF is trying to crack down on the type of stuff that you're doing, bruh. Court documents allege that the individuals operated a gun and drug distribution network in Washington and St. Tammany parishes. The following people were indicted for allegedly participating in a racketeering enterprise from January 1st, 2017 to November 13th, 2023. Trevion Mark Amos IV, aka FG Famous, Demarcus Devin Harris, Kelson Clark, Kenyatta G. Scott, Decania Matthews, Shelvin Griffin, Jamar McJalman, Trayvon L. Mingo, Brittany M. Mays, Georgia Carlos J. Walker, Javante Marquise Owen, Caleb R. Allen, Tyler R. Reddit, Marcus K. Mark, Jacathion Trayvon Smith are all being indicted. The interim district attorney's office reported that Trayvon Mark was also indicted on charges of second-degree murder, second-degree kidnapping, possession of a Schedule II drug, and obstruction of justice by tampering with evidence. It's honestly crazy to think that things are going down like this, because if Jaydayoungan was still alive, he would most definitely been in a high-profile name on this big-ass list. As we have said time and time again on this channel, the way that RICO investigations work is agencies basically track you down for years, basically note all the crimes that you do, get a broader picture in an airtight case so there's barely any doubt they have tons of evidence on your head when they arrest you. To make matters even worse, throughout the past decade in the city, there was a well-documented street war between 2 powerful sets that pretty much set the stage for everything tragic that went down, between the shooting that took out Jaydayoungan, the shootings that followed directly after, as well as the indictment of everyone involved, which leads us to the next chapter, La Familia versus the Purple City Boys, man, and the war that caused all this. Let's get into it. Chapter 2. During the time that Jaydayoungan was alive, one of the craziest backcountry backwoods beefs you could imagine was going down. While the general public did not know much about it, it was safe to say that the small towns in the area were very much aware of the shootings and gang activity that was ongoing, claiming lives, sending people to jail, pretty much ruining people. It was around this point that Jaydayoungan was arrested for being an accessory to a second-degree murder that claimed the life of a rival gang member. But to better understand how shit even got to that point, you gotta understand the inner workings of the gangs in that area that were straight stepping on shit. The 2 gangs that basically were at war were La Familia, aka FG for Familia Gang, versus the PC Boys, the Purple City Boys, or Jungle Life Mafia as the police call it. La Familia being Jaydayoungan's set coming out of Bogalusa, while PCB being based out of a nearby town very close. At one point, both of these gangs were cool and were basically coexisting, But many believe that one day in 2020 pretty much changed all that forever. We gotta get into the infamous incident that turned to bloodshed right now. Chapter 3, a trail ride turned deadly.
To arrest 2 men accused in a drive-by shooting and say one of them was also wanted for second-degree murder in connection with a fatal shooting during a Tangipahoa Parish trail ride last August. They arrested LaQuantre Turner and Armin Burnett Jr. The Tangipahoa Sheriff's Office says the men fired into a trailer occupied by a woman and a small child on April 20th along Mashan Road. Both were booked with aggravated assault by drive-by shooting. However, Turner was also booked with second-degree murder stemming from the shooting along a trail in Tangipahoa. Investigators say rival local gangs shot at each other in a field, and an innocent bystander, 21-year-old Zion Hutcherson, was shot and killed. Police have also arrested 4 other people in connection with that case.
April 29th, 2021, 2 members of La Familia were apprehended by authorities after committing a drive-by shooting in an RV park that hit an innocent woman on accident. It just so happens that one of these 2 men were also on the run for another shooting that claimed the life of a PCB member named TZ. Authorities on the North Shore arrest 2 men accused in a drive-by shooting and say that one of them was also wanted for a second-degree murder in connection with a fatal shooting during a Tangipahoa Parish trail ride last August in 2020. Chief Timmy Travis announced the arrest LaQuantre Turner, 22, of Tickfall, and Armin Burnett of Hammond. Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office said that the men fired into a trailer occupied by a woman and a small child on April 20th on Mashan Road. Detectives suspect the motive in this incident stemmed from an ongoing dispute between local gangs, Jungle Life Mafia, aka Purple City Boys, and La Familia. Both were booked with aggravated assault by a drive-by shooting. However, Turner was also booked with a second-degree murder stemming from the shooting along a trail in Tangipahoa. Investigators say that rival gangs shot at each other in a field, where 21-year-old Zion Hutcherson was shot and killed. Travis said Hutcherson was tragically struck by a bullet when 2 local gangs, La Familia and the Purple City Boys, decided to exchange gunfire in an open field where hundreds of people were enjoying a peaceful gathering. With assistance from the Louisiana Attorney General's Fugitive Task Force, Louisiana State Police Fugitive Task Force, and Hammond Police Department, Turner was located in Tickfall. Previously, Turner had been on the run since the homicide, hiding out between Louisiana and Texas, Travis said. But unfortunately for Jaydayoungan, one of the places that this dude was hiding out was apparently with 23. Police discovered that Jaydayoungan was basically helping Turner evade police and hide out between Texas and Bogalusa, which eventually led to Jaydayoungan getting arrested for accessory to second-degree murder charges around the same time. According to the Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office, Javoris Scott, aka Jay, was arrested and booked into the Tangipahoa Parish Jail in Amite on Thursday, September 16, 2021, and released on bond at $175,000 the day after. Scott was charged with accessory to second-degree murder and obstruction of justice, she said. The next thing that went down in this crazy gang war pretty much shocked the whole world when tragedy struck Bogalusa in 2022, and many believe that this was hand in hand with what Jaydayoungan was doing in that second-degree accessory charge, man. We got to get into chapter 4, the murder of Jaydayoungan.
Double shooting in Bogalusa leaves a local rapper with a large following dead and another person hurt.
Authorities identified the victim in last night's shooting as Javoris Scott, who goes by the rap name Jaydayoungan.
A double shooting in Bogalusa left one person dead and another injured on Wednesday, July 27, 2022, according to the Bogalusa Police Department. The deceased victim was identified as rapper Jaydayoungan, whose real name was Javoris Scott. He was just 24. Police say the other victim was his father, Kenyatta Scott Sr. He was transported to a hospital and was in stable condition and later discharged. The shooting happened around 5:50 p.m. in the 600 block of Superior Ave, according to authorities. Police say while they were working a chaotic scene at the hospital and working the crime scene on the same time, another shooting unfolded in the 800 block of Marshall Richardson Road just after 7 p.m. which we're going to get into later. Officers found a vehicle with bullet holes in it, but no injuries were reported. Police believe that both shootings were connected, the second being retaliation for the Jaydayoungan shooting. It was straight madness. Jaydayoungan was posted up with his father, enjoying some bonding time at his aunt's house, when several masked gunmen pulled up and ambushed him and his dad. 3 pulled up from the front and began shooting him when his dad apparently returned fire. However, additional masked men pulled up from the back side of the house and hit him multiple times. This unfortunately ended his life after he was shot a total of 8 times. However, barely shortly after this incident, members of La Familia took no time to allegedly try to spin back, because within 30 minutes, like I said before, there was a retaliatory shooting. However, it seems that Jay's best friend, FG Famous, aka Mark Amos IV, who was mentioned in this indictment, was actually arrested for firearms, as well as carrying out the retaliatory shooting shortly after the incident took place, which put him beyond bars even up till now. However, on top of that arrest, FG Famous and the rest of the gang were apparently being watched by the ATF ever since 2018. The Bogalusa police issued a statement saying that they were being investigated ever since 2018 with the ATF in a joint task force mission, and they were slowly building a case. And this is way years before all this incident going down. It's safe to say that these small towns in Louisiana will forever never be the same after all this going down. But these two gangs, the Purple City Boys and La Familia, basically were pretty much, wreaking havoc on this small community. Not only were they trying to gun down themselves, but they were also gunning down mad innocent civilians. People were getting shot at these shootings. People were getting mistakenly shot, thinking that these were the ops when they were just getting the wrong car. Even the incident that happened with the FG Famous, apparently the retaliatory shooting, that apparently was a woman that had nothing to do with the incident, man. It's just crazy. And it's so sad to see that Jaydayoungan ended up getting hit up and killed, allegedly because of this ongoing war. Many don't really understand how they were even able to find his location, many attributing it to him driving around in a flashy Corvette and they just knew his house. But in reality, in these small towns in the South, especially in Louisiana, in these towns that you can barely even pronounce, they got some crazy names and stuff going on with them, like Bogalusa, Tabahoa. Man, like, there's only like 10,000 people that live in these cities. And of those 10,000, how many you think live in these areas that are actually active? It's probably very small. A lot of these incidents happen on dirt roads, places with no real streets or anything like that. So everyone pretty much knows each other. And these people that have been beefing for almost a decade now know each other so well that they probably know where all their family members live. And they're probably going to take out whoever they can at the end of the day. But it's sad that so much violence and the cycle has basically just continued. That the police are basically just saying, man, we just got to end this all together. It's bad when the ATF, the government, the US government, is basically cracking down on this incident. This isn't no small scale police incident with people just getting arrested by police departments and stuff. This is like looking like it might be a federal RICO indictment, because they're saying that they were trafficking guns as well as committing these murders, man. And there have been many murders along the way. So it's crazy to see, but this secret gang war has basically been going on for mad long. And it claimed the lives of one of the biggest Louisiana rappers of this generation. Many attributed it to, like NBA Youngboy and that type of beef and stuff. This probably had nothing to do with that. This was some real backcountry, backwoods, in the middle of the woods, in the middle where they don't even have sewage tanks, man, type war that was ongoing and really claiming these people's lives, man. And it's unfortunate, their families are going to be affected forever. And it's probably going to be the last time we hear from the 23 gang, aka La Familia, because pretty much all of them are going to be arrested now. And Jaydayoungan, it's like that incident. It kind of reminds me of the King Von situation, because if he had not died, he would probably be in jail for a very long time. Similar to King Von, all those people that got arrested for FBG Duck's murder, they basically got arrested and they basically pinned it on King Von. So they're basically saying that You know, if King Von, you know, if he didn't die, he would probably be in jail. And it's pretty much the same thing for Jaydayoungan, you know, a case that had been spanning for 2018. I find like it's crazy that they allowed this stuff to continue. You know, the police know that this stuff is happening. You know, they definitely know. They've been watching them since 2018. But they just allow it to happen to, you know, build the case. So they're allowing and letting people shoot people and just let it happen, I guess, because they feel like they don't have evidence or something. But they're literally allowing these people to go and commit these crimes just so they could, like, arrest them after the fact. Which is honestly kind of crazy because they're allowing them to destroy their own communities. But I guess at the same time, you got to look at it as they're going out and destroying their own communities because that's all they really know, man. But it's really like a vicious cycle. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And we're going to keep you updated with this case and everything that's going down. Because at the end of the day, Jaydayoungan was one of the biggest, most influential rappers coming out of Louisiana. And no one wants to see this stuff happen, especially the people that were, you know, big artists and stuff alongside him, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this whole situation. Real say shit. You already know what's going on. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. Peace.